Hello and welcome to the Master Your Life podcast. I'm Julie Kelly. And if you are new to the podcast, then welcome. I'm really glad that you've decided to tune in today. This is the podcast where we help you level up your relationships, level up your career, and level up your lifestyle by giving you real, relevant, and tactical advice so that you can live your very best life on your terms. So that's what we're all about. So I'm really glad that you decided to join me today. So today's podcast episode is inspired by a book that I most recently purchased called Personality Isn't Permanent by Dr. Benjamin Hardy. And so today I wanted to take some of the ideas from this book, which really talks about breaking free from self-limiting beliefs and rewriting your story, and talking about how you actually can rewrite your story and how you can create your future self. Because what you have to understand, what's really important to understand, is that your past is in the past. And who you were yesterday or who you were 5 months ago is not the person that you are today. So many things have happened, especially in the last couple of months, that have shaped and changed who you are based on your experiences. And now you probably have a different attitude to life. You have made different choices based on what's happened in the last couple of months. Your feelings have potentially changed. Your reactions to challenges and situations in your life have changed. And you are continuously evolving into a different version of yourself every single day. And so, like I said, this book, Personality Isn't Permanent, was my inspiration for today. And I would love to share a paragraph from the book with you to frame today's conversation. Okay, here we go. Deciding and creating a bigger future isn't wishful thinking. You must face uncomfortable truths you've been avoiding and take ownership over your life. What currently prevents your dreams from becoming reality is buried in trauma, keeping you trapped in your past, shutting down your confidence and imagination. Sure, trauma occurs as major life-altering events, but more often, trauma is planted in minor incidents and conversations that limit your view of who you are and what you can do, creating a fixed mindset. This can't be ignored. It must be addressed. Moreover, you can have a social environment supporting your current or past identity and patterns rather than pushing you to evolve and become something more. Okay, so let's break this down. Basically, who you were is not who you are today, and it's not who you're going to be in the future. And there are several factors that play into creating your future self. That is confidence, imagination, and your social environment or your support group, or as I like to call them, your circle of influence. So what matters is who you want to be. Who you've been in the past is no longer relevant. It's not going to impact today, nor is it going to impact, nor should it impact who you're going to be in the future. And what matters are the choices that you decide to make now moving forward. So if you have ever questioned if you can change, the answer is absolutely yes. Because regardless of who you've been, you no longer have to be that person. Isn't that refreshing? I find that so refreshing, because what you have to understand is that your choices and your vision of your life and your future self can begin to influence who you are right now. And the first step to rewriting your story and creating your future self, the person that you long to be, the person that you imagine yourself to be, the person that you're aspiring to be, you can choose to be that person right now, but it begins by identifying one major goal that you want to accomplish in your life. So think about what that is for you. What's one major goal that you've been either putting off or thinking about, but haven't actually taken any steps towards accomplishing that goal? So the first step is to identify one major goal you want to accomplish. And it's really important that it's just one goal, because one goal creates focus. Focus then creates momentum. And then momentum and confidence start to infiltrate all areas of your life, propelling you forward towards new and exciting experiences that your old self wouldn't even consider indulging in, right? So it's really important that you get crystal clear on the one thing that you want to accomplish moving forward. So once you've identified that one major goal, you need to start making choices to reach that goal, right? So you need to make those choices as your future self, not your current self. And so in doing so, you're probably going to need a boost of confidence, okay? So how do you get confidence? How do you build self-confidence in the moment? Well, very simply, confidence comes from taking consistent action. The more bold the action is, the quicker your confidence will increase. And it needs to be consistent, right? You can't do one thing or can't do something one time or twice and expect miracles to happen. Those sorts of things are one-offs. They are not life-changing, and they certainly don't influence your personality or your character or the person that you want to be. If you really want to evolve into a better version of yourself, that ideal version of yourself, then you need to start thinking as your future self, not as your current self. And that's going to take some courage and confidence and some boldness, because your future self, she doesn't act the way that you act right now. She doesn't think the way that you think right now. She doesn't take the same action that you take right now. Her choices, her thoughts, her activities are at an elevated level to where you are right now. And so you have to start thinking as your future self, and start taking action as your future self, not your current self. So let's take a look at what some of those actions, those consistent actions to build confidence could look like. So let's assume that you're wanting to build your social media following if you have like a business or if you're starting a new business. So in order to do that, you would need to post consistent, valuable information that aligns with your business mission or goals, right? So you need to be able to add value to your ideal client on a consistent basis in order for that social media following to grow. Because you know that if you post one time a week on Instagram, for instance, it's very unlikely that your Instagram following is going to increase anytime soon. But if you were to post three times a day on Instagram, then it's more likely, especially if that content is valuable, that your social media following will very quickly and steadily increase, okay? So this idea can be applied to various situations. So let's assume that you're looking for a new job, and I know that there are a lot of people right now who are in a situation where they need to find a new job. So if that's your one main goal right now, then you have to browse those various job posting websites like Indeed, for instance, and you have to set up alerts for those specific jobs with a specific salary that you are obviously a good candidate for, that you have those relevant skills, that you're a good, strong candidate for. And you need to set up those alerts for the jobs that you want. And then when those alerts come through, they'll come through to your email. You obviously have to look at those alerts, go through those job descriptions, find the ones that align with you and what you want to do with your life, and then apply to all those jobs. But that takes action. That takes specific, consistent action, right? If you're going to get the result that you want, you have to put in the effort up front. Let's take another example. Let's say you want to lose 20 pounds or 20 kilos in the next 3 months, for instance. Then eliminating all carbs and sugar from your diet and committing to 30 minutes of exercise a day may be your one goal, right? That's what you have to commit to. your confidence is going to come from taking that consistent daily action, because when you do that, you're going to start to see results, and results is what increases your confidence really, really quickly. Okay. So, like I said, there are tons of different ideas and examples of how this could relate to your situation. But I'm hoping that those examples give you an idea of identifying your one major goal and then thinking about what are the steps or what are the things that you need to commit to in order to make that goal come to fruition for yourself. Okay. And you have to understand that reaching any goal, no matter what it is, takes commitment, it takes focus, and it takes consistent, intentional action. I can't express that enough. Okay. So that's the first thing. That's the first step to rewriting your story and to imagining your future self. Okay. Step number 2 is imagination. So you have to imagine your future self. How does she feel? How does she spend her days? Who does she interact with on a daily basis? Where does she work? What position does she hold? What does she wear? How much money does she earn? How does she spend her free time? What do her relationships look like? Where does she live? What type of car does she drive, right? So this is the time to go really deep and really envision what you want your future self to look like, and on an energetic level as well as like a materialistic type of level as well. Okay. So it's crucial that you can picture her in your mind. And so the first step is to just start imagining, like, and daydreaming and creating a vision of her in your mind. But then I invite you to take it a step further and document it. So you can do this by journaling, right? Journaling about your future self and answering all of those questions that we just went through, and more. Like, let your mind go wild and really think about, in 5 years or 7 years or 10 years time, who do you want to be? What do you want to be doing with your life? What kind of a legacy do you want to leave behind, if anything? How do you spend your time? How do you spend your professional time? And how do you spend your personal time? And really, like, make it a tangible, real vision for yourself by journaling about it, by maybe creating a vision board about your future self and what she looks like and what she does and who she interacts with. Because when you can visualize it on a subconscious level, that is extremely powerful, because your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's not real. So whatever you imagine, whatever you think, whatever you believe to be true for yourself, when you start imagining and having those thoughts, that feeling, that energy level, that vision of yourself and your life, your future self and your future lifestyle, if you can start thinking about that every single day, then you're going to start acting and feeling and living as if that's already true for yourself. And when you do that, that's when life just starts to unfold and things come to you miraculously, whether it's opportunities, people, information that you need so that you can take your next step. It's really, really powerful. So I encourage you to spend some time going through that imagination process, okay? And I know for adults, that's not something that comes naturally to us, because we're so conditioned to be like just in sort of autopilot mode or work mode, where it's just like go, 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 do the things that we have to do, and there's no time to think about anything else. But if you really want to rewrite your story, if you really want to take what's happening in the world right now and use it to your advantage to really create the next chapter of your life and the next chapter of your family's life to be bigger and bolder and better than what it's been in the past, then it's really necessary to start imagining and start thinking about and taking the time to plan and envision your life, and then taking the necessary steps to make it your reality. Otherwise, you're just going to be on the hamster wheel doing the same old, same old. And if that's what you want, then that's great. But then this podcast episode clearly wouldn't be for you. but I know that my listeners want more from their lives. They want more from their careers. They want more from their relationships. And so this is part of the process. So I hope you do indulge yourself in that. The third and final aspect of creating your future self and rewriting your story is assessing your circle of influence, or your social environment, or your support network, whatever you want to call it. Basically, it's the people that we spend most of our time with, because as we know, the people that we spend most of our time with, they are the ones that influence us the most. And that influence can be good, or it can be bad, or it could be neutral. And so I want you to think to yourself and really honestly assess the people that you spend your time with, and ask yourself, are these people holding me back with their stories, their philosophies, their principles, their attitudes, their take on life, their take on what's happening in the world right now? Or are the people that you spend most of your time with, are they challenging you to become a better version of yourself? And are they supporting your choices to become a better version of yourself? Now, what you'll probably find, especially if you're somebody that's wanting to elevate their life, that you want to take your life to the next level, you want to empower yourself, you want to live an intentional, focused life that has amazing opportunities and amazing career trajectories for yourself, and healthy, loving, balanced, sustainable relationships, and a lifestyle that you're proud of, one that aligns with who you are and what you want from your life. What you'll probably find is that the people that are closest to us are sometimes the ones that hold us back the most. And this is true for a lot of people in business. A lot of entrepreneurs find that parents, siblings, extended family are usually against them stepping outside of the box and stepping outside of their comfort zone and trying things and taking risks and being bold and wanting more from their life, because they haven't stepped out of the box and they haven't put themselves out of their comfort zone for probably 20, 30, 40 years. And so when other people around them are doing that, they get nervous, they get uncomfortable, because they see it as a reflection of themselves and how little they've probably risked in their life. And so they try and keep you from playing big, and they want you to play small. They want you to do the same old, and have, like, generation after generation just do the same thing. But that isn't necessarily what you want. And if it is, then that's great. But I'm guessing that if you're listening to this podcast, then doing the same old is not what you want from your life, right? That's why it's really important to connect with people who are aligned with your personal mission and who your future self would potentially hang out with, right? Think about that. Your future self, would she hang out with the people that you're currently hanging out with? And would she take advice and listen to the opinions of those people? My guess is probably not, because she's going to be a more evolved, confident individual who takes very few opinions, who doesn't need any validation from anybody else, who is focused on her goals, on her mission, on what she wants her life to look like, what she wants her relationships to look like. And there's nothing and nobody that's going to get in the way of that. Okay. So if you're thinking, this sounds great, but I don't have those people in my life, then it's time to get a little bit resourceful. Okay. So like I said, this whole process of breaking free of the past and reinventing yourself and reinventing your future and really creating a positive, thriving lifestyle for yourself and for your family, it takes work. It takes effort. Everything that I'm sharing with you right now is going to take commitment, focus, determination, persistence, and you're going to probably fail at times and things aren't going to work out the way that you want, but you're going to have to pick yourself up and dust yourself off and keep going and keep taking another step forward tomorrow and the day after that, because that's the only way to make it come to fruition. Right? I never said it was going to be like a straight line and everything's going to be honky-dory, right? That would be ideal for all of us, but that's just not the reality of life. The reality is that it's going to probably take longer and it's going to be a little bit harder than you had anticipated, but you're going to get there. But you have to have that persistence and that focus and that clarity of your goal and what you want to achieve, and then take that consistent daily action to achieve it. So going back to your circle of influence, if you don't have a strong support network right now who is challenging you, who is helping you get closer to your goals and your dreams, then it's time to become more resourceful. So there are certain avenues that you could choose to find those people, okay? And it could be through meetups, right? If you go to meetup.com, there are tons of different programs and virtual meetings right now in so many different topics and fields of interest that you can connect with. And you've instantly got hundreds, if not thousands of people that are doing what you want to do or that are aligned with your personal goal and mission in life, who are probably 10 steps ahead of you, that can help you. And you can connect with them through these virtual meetups. And there are like virtual masterminds as well. You know, you have to Google this stuff, right? And find them. A really easy way to connect with people that are aligned with what you want from your life and what your goal is through Facebook groups. There are thousands and thousands of different Facebook groups that are free to join, that have hundreds, if not thousands of people within those groups that can help you by sharing information and sharing experiences and other resources with you to elevate you to the next level really quick. Now, remember that people like Tony Robbins have said that success leaves clues. That means that the answers are out there. The answers that you need are already out there. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. You don't have to find those answers. You just have to connect with the people that have the information and the answers that you want, and then connect with them through Facebook groups, meetups, masterminds, through LinkedIn. Maybe it's a friend of a friend. Maybe it's through online courses that you sign up for, and connect with the right people that will propel you towards your goals really quickly, because they've already been down the path that you're starting to walk down right now. Okay, I hope that makes sense. So you have to get resourceful. And if I was to give you one piece of advice to find the right people, it would be to start with Facebook groups, because like I said, there are literally thousands of Facebook groups with thousands of different topics that I'm sure will align with your goal, that one major goal that you need to choose and work towards. And find them, you know, go through the search on Facebook, find those groups, connect with those people. And once you're in the group, it's really important that you give and not just take. What I mean by that is, you know, you're going to see people posting in those Facebook groups, giving links and ideas and resources and information and experiences and suggestions. It's one thing to take all of that and go, oh my God, this is so great. I need all this. I need it. And like, you know, be like a sponge and take all of that stuff. But also remember to give back, because no matter where you're at today, there's somebody that's 10 steps behind you, right? Think about that. Right? You may feel like a novice, and you may feel like you're new to this and you don't even know where to begin, and that you maybe don't have anything of value to add to anyone. That is absolutely untrue, because there is always someone that's newer and less experienced and probably more scared than you are. And something that you say, or a link or a resource that you share, can help that person. So always remember that it's a give and take. And so it's important that you give as much as you take, and that you really, you know, interact in those Facebook groups, because that's how you're going to get the most out of them. All right. So I hope you're starting to realize that it's time to do things differently to how you've always done them. If you want to move on from your past, and if you want to move on from those experiences and those situations that have held you back or kept you stuck in a rut and stuck doing the same old for the last, 2, 3, 5, 10 years. So it's time to envision your new life, your new personality, and take new actions to make your future self the new current self, right? So in doing so, your lifestyle will be elevated, and how you used to live, so how you live like today, for instance, will be a thing of the past and something that you can look back on. And looking back on from a much, much more elevated level, because your lifestyle and everything that you know is going to be completely different moving forward. And so imagine how freeing it will be to let go of all the hurt and all the disappointments of the past and start focusing on all the good that you want from your life. Because the only thing standing between you and your ideal life and your ideal self is you. And you get to decide who you want to be. And you get to decide what your future life and your future self is going to look like. And once you decide who that person is and what she looks like, you get to start making intentional choices towards that one major goal, towards that future self, towards that future lifestyle. And then you'll start to see, like I said, how life will bring you what you need. And things will start to come to you organically that'll help you to keep taking the next step and the next step thereafter, and so on and so forth. So, my friend, there is some work to do, right? Get your journal out, start journaling, start imagining, start thinking about what your future self looks like. Envision her, envision your lifestyle, your career, and then start taking the necessary steps to make her come to life. Because everything you need to succeed lives inside of you already. You just have to tap into that potential. So I encourage you to take the time to think about who she's going to be, imagine her, see her, write about her, vision board about her, and then think about who are the people that you need to connect with over the next couple of weeks or months to take your life and your lifestyle from where it is today to where you want it to be in 2, 5, 10 years from now. Because those people are out there. The answers are out there. You just need to get resourceful and start taking some intentional, focused action to connect with those people, to get the information that you need to implement into your life to elevate your life to the next level. So I hope you have enjoyed today's podcast episode. This may be one of those episodes that you need to go back and re-listen to because it is a little heavy. There is some work to be done, like we said. But if you have enjoyed it, I invite you once again to subscribe, rate, and review the podcast over on iTunes or wherever you're listening. If you're tuning in on YouTube, then please leave a comment, like this video. Let me know what you think about this. Let me know what your future self is going to look like. I would love to hear about that. And again, I always invite you to connect with me. You can email me at julie@juliecelly.com and let me know what podcast topics you want to hear about in the future. And you can always connect with me on social media. I hang out most of the time on Instagram at Julie C. Kelly. And on Facebook, it's facebook.com/I'm Julie C. Kelly. And I will leave all these relevant links in the show notes so you don't have to scramble to write them down now. And I will see you all next week. Bye for now.